far rare. I think we saw Leshrac once versus a TA in particular.
All right, let's see if it pays off here. It will be their big pushing hero together with the tiny old chicken, though. He was more of a ganker early on. As both teams get into the game, there was an early teleport towards the bottom lane in order to plant a lane ward down for the Radiant, and then one towards mid for the Dire to get a hill ward up near the Ancient. So both teams trying to get their quick vision. Doesn't look like anybody wants to go for too much aggression here over the runes, but they're at least going to get in position to scout them out.
Well, we've seen like VP play safe lane Lina a fair amount, and sometimes they just like leave her alone and just concentrate on other sides of the map. The thing about leaving a safe lane Leshrac alone is he will push down your tower very, very quickly. CTY had a very dominant Leshrac performance at TI5, and we'll see if the safe lane works. Not really met with that much success, though, by other players in the safe lane.
Old 11 does get scouted out here. Sylar skills up that rocket barrage. They do have the pointing glimpse available. They're going to glimpse it back right into Sylar's waiting arms. Immediately going to snowball forward, but still tanking the rocket barrage. It's only level 1, but a lot of punishment here for Old 11 on one of his go-to heroes. And this was something that wasn't really discussed too much in the draft, but this was the change-up. His last game, the Tusk for 11 was banned, but this time around it gets through. A hero that teams have been loath to give him.
Sylar trying to zone him out early with a boots of speed first on the gyrocopter.
Yeah, definitely good for pressuring that Tusk. We'll see the sentry wards planted down. Looks like they do have the range here on the Radiant Sentry, but are they going to be able to find the Dire one that's blocking the secondary pole camp? Kind of an unusual position for it as Kaka scouts around. He saw, I believe he did see the hero run into the river, so he has an idea there's something nearby, but not able to track it down just yet.
Night Stalker can roam around early anyways. He's not a hero like Visage that has much more trouble getting tasks accomplished on the other side.
So they do in the end leave 11 up in this 2v1, and again he's going to start taking pressure, has the snowball, but nothing great to snowball to now as he circles through the trees. They're going to glimpse him back. It's kind of a short range one. But without the boot, Sylar can run him down. Does by the TP scroll. And it's just going to look to walk away here. Sylar not able to get in range, but tons of early pressure on the Tusk.
Oh, that's actually a really good movement by 11 too. He managed to stall until the next creep wave came, so that rocket barrage wouldn't kill him. This is not that easy of a lane for him.
It's a much tougher lane than what we're used to seeing for him, and he's not having the kind of start that he's accustomed to.
But now there's a double range creep heading towards him, unless they get this pull off.
Looks like they might. LGD really handling the offlane Tusk beautifully so far.
He's out of regen, actually. I mean, if you count Mango, I suppose he still has some.
We always count the mangoes. Not only the one, but how many do they have?
I'm still waiting for an offlaner to buy 5 mangoes with their first 625. There will be a day.
Feel free to do it in your pubs anytime you want that.
Oh, please. I've done 6 mangoes with random gold.
You're disgusting.
That's not what you say when you get 150 mana, man.
Hey, if you get kills with it, it all works out. But in the mid lane, there's some aggression here. They throw a little shade on Maybe. He'll back off. Still, the Bane appears to be having his impact once again. A lot of early pressure from Lanham, slowing down the Ember Spirit's early farm as the courier runs into the river. And, oh, DDC says, I'll take that gold. Thank you very much. But, well, not the best micro there, although Old 11 did manage to grab his salve before it was too late.
Yeah, I mean, this is just a byproduct of MMY doing an excellent job of zoning him and controlling 11. He is still only level 1, even though it looked like he was going to get an easy level 2, almost level 3. And he's still out of regen now after having to use that salve and misses the D ward on that observer ward on top.
You know, speaking of D wards, RTK actually D wards the Radiant Sentry, so in the end, they were not able to find that camp blocking ward on the bottom side of the map.
So now it's kind of up to Kaka. The Night Stalker, he isn't able to pull, but that's okay. He's still level 2.5, but Nighttime is going to hit fairly soon, and they need to stop the Disruptor, who isn't known for a strong laning phase.
The Avalanche gets lobbed out mid together with the toss, but maybe easily able to handle that offense.
So how's CTY farming? Looks like he's
pretty well.
Yeah,
14-5.
On par with Sylar, who already has phase boots. So Tusk, I mean, he is going to have a really difficult time and can't really stay in lane. Looks like everyone's going to start gravitating towards mid soon.
This might be the worst start 11's ever had on the offlane Tusk. I don't know if I've seen a worse game. And I wouldn't even say he's played particularly poorly. It's just the matchup is and LGD's commitment to slowing him down. But they're going to bring 3 on the mid lane now. Momoya arrives. They've got 3 heroes here. They get off the sleep on the Maybe. Look for the glimpse back. They find Old Chicken. He gets trapped in the kinetic field, he's gonna turn, gets off the toss, doesn't have mana for the avalanche, and that's the level 2 spell here. Old Chicken will burn down an LGD. A much better start for them in pretty much all respects here. Game number 2, quick first blood at the bottom rune, a little skirmish developing between rOtk and Kaka, and back to the top lane. The snowball gets dragged back, Sylar, level 2 rocket barrage. Not enough to really threaten for the kill. But the good news is Old 11, he sees that gank mid, and now he can at least get his level 2 and a bit of extra experience.
He's been doing a really good job of snowballing during the rocket barrage and then exiting when the rocket barrage is about to end, so he won't die. It looks like he's actually TPing back and scared of MMY actually having vision of him, and he certainly did. Good play by Tusk again.
Yeah, that's definitely the power of the lane ward. Very important when you're running a support like Disruptor to have that extra vision.
Yeah, he's just much more comfortable with this hero than other heroes, though. I still remember his Nyx assassin from the group stage dying well over 10 times without a kill, but with Tusk, he seems to have a much better grasp of the map and where the supports are moving around.
EHOME do get aggressive here. They move up onto the high ground. They had a hill ward on their side, well, kind of the lower hill, but DDC has managed to escape its vision, juking back into the trees. And as you mentioned, this nighttime is very important for EHOME. What are they going to get?
But rOtk is filing. I don't think they have vision on me yet, and a Fissure could interrupt the tower dive. And now CTY as well as the Observer ward on bottom have like very good vision of bottom, so they know that rOtk is sitting around mid.
It's like it's the delayed bounty hunter effect. Instead of getting these wards up maybe at like the 3-minute mark, you wait until that first night, and then Kaka goes on the roam. So he gets a deep ward off in the dire jungle.
But this is not how EHOME wanted their early game to be, and now their Night Stalker's under-leveled, searching for kills. They want Tusk to be involved in kills too. They're desperately searching for experience.
And they know if they make a go on the top lane here, that there could easily be a TP from the Shaker, so they're playing it safe.
Yeah, they want to go before Gyrocopter's level 6 though, or else he will just, I mean, he will crush these 3
bottom lane. They are moving on to rOtk, bringing him low, but he looks to turn here with the Fissure. Sylar also rotating, throwing out the rocket barrage. That stun needs to hit, it doesn't, and CTY in a lot of danger, juking through the trees. Can he make it out the salve? The jukes, it looks like he's just a bit too elusive, and CTY gets very far away. One last auto attack, just Sylar denying any additional salve regen, but well handled by CTY. Patience under pressure.
Yeah, very well handled. I mean, he's trying to outrun a Gyrocopter with phase boots too.
And Alesh does have pretty good base move speed, but still, with the phase boots, it's not an easy.
That ward has expired. They actually do not spot out rOtk. He is hiding in the trees waiting for a go on Sylar, who is still very close to level 6.
Yeah, one thing for maybe is he's not farming particularly well in the Ember, but he is getting his levels, already level 5. Something that he can use to catch up with later on. Still a better start than last game, where his entire lane got destroyed as they creep up on rOtk. Still no vision here. Sylar just wanting that cooldown, and then I imagine they are going to look for the jump. There's the Fissure. He's got the cooldown available, but the Lesh stun prevents it from easily clipping. The first one does connect. That's enough for the auto attack range. And Sylar strikes again. rOtk, a much better performance this time around.
Yeah, Kaka wasn't actually there to slow down the Gyrocopter. I think he just needed a void on the Gyrocopter, and he might have even died at that point too. But LGD striking at the exact perfect time while Night Stalker was pulling the camp.
This is definitely where EHOME struggle a bit. They're not a team that normally plays from behind, partially because of how they draft, and partially I think it's just their general tempo, where they're just used to having a lead. They're used to diving, playing aggressively, but they may have to adapt here, Ben, with the way this laning stage is developing.
CTY's having a hard time chopping his HP. He took 1 Fissure on bottom, and he's already at like 2/3 health. So this is where some safe lane players look to get like a bottle or something so they don't die into just 1 nuke. 11
getting caught out, but Lanham's rotating in. He's got the level 3 brain sap. They are going to go for the glimpse back here. He's also got that sleep available. Lets it go on to Sylar, who has a call out ready. 11 going for the TP out, and MMY, he ended up taking the Nightmare. Now Sylar chasing. He wants revenge. Lanham, though, will be able to snake his way out. So another good play by EHOME to dodge a gank, but again, a lot of defensive maneuvers for this team. Used to
Old Chicken,
the offenders. Now they're going to make their way forward. Old Chicken with the toss. It's only level 2. Doesn't have the mana for the avalanche, or that would have been a kill.
Well, LGD go by unscathed in the first nighttime, and still those 2 melee heroes, the Tusk and the Night Stalker, still wanting to get their level 6 so they can actually get some kills. But LGD with like the Earthshaker in the off lane, he is already level 6, so they're having a much better start.
So at this point, looking at EHOME, Last game we saw the Blink Dagger from Old Chicken really opened it up. Is it all about the Blink now? Is there anything else that can get their game going?
Tusk level 6 is also something that they're waiting for, but they have to be careful that they don't wait too long. Maybe is having a good time in mid, and will have his BOTs at some point too. So they actually have a lot of stuns, and Disruptor getting level 6 already is also going to be very difficult for these 3 melee heroes to deal with.
Yeah, you roll in with the snowball. If you don't catch MMY, it just drops that static storm kinetic field and you die.
And if you roll on Disruptor, you're also going to die, and they have the Shaker to follow up on top of that.
The Glimpse back, level 6 before the Tusk 11 feasted upon. LGD looking very poised after that game number 1. Seems they have been able to shake it off. Atlanta will get his Fiend's Grip now. Perhaps a rotation could set something up here. He's looking for it, the long range grab. MMY, no way to cancel this one. He used the whole combo of spells previously. Silart looks like he should go down. Immolates in the Pulse Nova, so a counter kill here with the Fiend's Grip debut. As LGD take this time to smoke. It's a level 7 maybe. Now he's got a haste room bottled up. There's no grip available. The lockdown's rather light. It's a bit lacking here on the top lane, and they're moving forward. DDC only level 3, but it can mainly be the Ember who sets this one up. Now he jumps forward. No, just throws out the Remnant. Doesn't want to commit just yet. Now deploying the Flame Guard, burning Lanham a bit, but again, afraid to fully go into this. Is that heal will keep Lanham in healthy condition for the moment. EHOME just fencing back and forth, but nobody ready to commit. They're waiting for the Tiny.
They're doing a really good job of protecting CTY though. He had that one kill, one death on bottom, and he still only has 758 HP. That's so easy for like an Ember Spirit to kill, even when he gets like 1 level Sleight of Fist perhaps to dodge the Split Earth. But he is like very, very vulnerable right now. And LGD's kills have not come without a cost. The Gyrocopter has been forced to move around a lot and has fallen behind in terms of CS. He's still a little bit ahead of the Leshrac, but with his score and with the way the past couple of minutes have been going, you really want your Gyrocopter to be a little bit more farm, maybe even like 1,000 gold ahead of the Lesh.
Yeah, he's a little bit, but now Sylar is going to try to extend that lead, uses the call down to clear out a wave, but it also means Evan and Lanham can feel a bit more confident about the pressure here, as they did see the call down get used. Perhaps we see the pushing intensify. Old Chicken quickly avalanche taunting the wave mid and pressing on forward, knowing that big ultimate is unavailable for the defense.
Yeah, I guess they want the Gyrocopter to fight a lot more while maybe is farming up his BOTs, and after that maybe they can kind of switch roles in that regard. But Siler's doing a good job of eking out some efficiency in the jungle.
It's normally how this team has evolved, where bottom lane, Kaka in some trouble here. They do drop the kinetic field. He's got the TP, and LGD, now that it's nighttime, they're afraid. They do run in, maybe gonna tank the Void off the bat. There's stick charges for the silence, but doesn't want to use it. And while that was going on, they did find a kill on the top lane. Looks like a solo from RTK as he echoed 11. Just another bad engage. 11 has had, this might be his worst Tusk start ever. 0-2 and 0.
But finally the blink comes out from Tiny. He's going to be able to get another kill. Let's see if he can kill Sylar.
While that's going on, the cooldown gets dropped on the top lane. The Fissure's there. CTY dropping low. Looks like they may lose the Lesh. So close. 60 HP gets up. The Lightning is going to survive for the moment.
Oh, where did he TP
and simultaneously, Lanham gets trapped out. They use the chains to set it up. They've got the Glimpse available, and they drag him right back into the flames. Maybe with the triple Remnant available, he might need it to get this kill as well. Another chain's coming out. Triple Remnant, just enough. Static Storm gets dropped as 11 rolls in. He still doesn't have the Walrus Punch. We're now 12 minutes in. I am just shocked at how poor a game.
Oh, and now the Blink Dagger reveal on Old Chicken. He really wanted that for that top fight. I think he could have like blinked onto
bottom
the Gyrocopter and tossed him over.
Maybe he's in trouble. There's the silence, the Void as well. He wanted the rune. He ain't gonna get it. That will slow down the Boots of Travel. And as you mentioned, that blink is ready. They've got the vision behind the tower. DDC in danger now. The Avatos, he blinks in. He goes for the dunk. He gets only the Wyvern. Perfectly played. EHOME will strike back. But my God, they have to find a way to activate this Tusk.
I mean, he just got level 6 though. That was a really important kill because it slowed down his BOTs and it gave the 2 weak melee heroes the levels that they needed. Now Night Stalker's level 7. They have to play around darkness, and they dropped the ward in between the T1 and the T2 in the mid lane. So that's actually not shaping up to be that great for LGD. Ideally, you want the Ember Spirit to have BOTs, and then you can fight with your Gyrocopter and your Ember Spirit and kind of counter this aggression that EHOME is putting out right now. But they still need a few more minutes on maybe.
Yeah, BOT is definitely coming soon. Sylar has gone for the early aggression here with the quick drums into the Aquila.
They're kind of split early in their smoke. Like you see the Earthshaker, or so the Night Stalker and the Tusk moving to the right, and you can see the Tiny signaling out to kill maybe a mid, but they missed their window already. Have to search for other targets.
Yeah, the wave gets shoved in, and then LGD quickly back off. While this is going on, LANM has been farming the top lane, and you could just see that shift in mentality when it's nighttime, where a support can be here solo. They don't even have backup in range right at the beginning of it, but LGD aren't going to take the risk of jumping that.
And they're also playing much better with rOtk. CTY in trouble.
Mid lane, CTY going to dodge it.
But rOtk has been involved a lot more in the fights as opposed to, let's say, static farming his Blink Dagger. Oh, nice shards coming out.
Finding DDC in the trees, but he's able to Arctic burn away. Do they want to pursue this? Doesn't seem like it. Trying to just get the tower instead, but the trade is coming for now with Sylar. Pressuring that bottom lane, the ping's there from CTY. Looking for the slow into the stun. That's going to set it up nicely. He activates the Pulse Nova. They roll in. This is a big kill. He doesn't even bother to commit a call down. Knows it wouldn't be enough. And the tower is going to get denied. And with that, CTY has got his Bloodstone. So it is a fast start here on the left track.
Please, you doubted 11's Tusk. Who are you, LD?
I mean, did you see the start he had? He has done a good job of catching up. That was a very fortuitous gank on the Ember bottom. Now back in the game. 1-2 and 1.
And well on his way to having a mech, although bottom net worth on the side of EHOME.
Maybe because of the BOTs, they're making their jump on the Kaka. It might be nighttime, but they have a Winter's Curse to lock him in position, try to finish him off. The chains are there. Old Chicken arrives, though, again, shutting down the Wyvern. Knowing the chains aren't cooldown, we'll just quickly TP away. So maybe can't counterplay it, but there's the Bloodstone. 15 minutes in. Good timing here for CTY.
Yeah, the Ember Spirit, though, going to prove to be a problem with the Boots of Travel. They're not really able to have the resources spread out enough around the map, whereas maybe is going to be much more efficient with his farming and his killing. So now EHOME's like kind of maybe worried about being behind in terms of farm or in gank, and kind of have to commit, I think, heavier on the gank.
Well, the nighttime wearing off fairly soon here. So we'll have to see if they want to continue to be aggressive. Darkness cooling down for some time. That window might close a little bit.
I think they should. They still have the Blink Dagger on the Tiny, and he hasn't really died that much, so they can keep him like equally underfarmed to Ember Spirit, I would say, in terms of how often they want to spend around roaming around the map.
I mean, they show both their gankers mid. And now the crow does bark, and EHOME are gonna back off to the woods now. It seems during the day they aren't really ready to be aggressive with the Night Stalker, but Tiny might go for the gank.
I mean, their wards are set up to push the mid tower, though. Like it's all around that side of the map. Looks like they might be able to snag a haste rune for an important hero on bottom.
RTK moving in, LANM there on the other side of the trees. The stun comes out from around the tree line, just narrowly. Yeah,
so now both teams know they have wards. CTY almost hit a blind stun, and rOtk also fissured into the fog, or what EHOME thought was the fog. So now it's time to set up a D ward.
Or maybe the 6-minute god has just become the 16-minute god. No, they know, and the sentries do come out.
So it looks like he wants to go a Yule's build. This is pretty good versus Disruptor. It is really good against the Blink Earthshaker if you're really quick on your fingers, and it's especially good versus Ember Spirit at removing his Flame Guard, but not actually being able to kill him. They still have to rely on the Tiny in order to have that instant cast.
LGD do start to group up and getting more aggressive towards bottom. They're only leaving DDC on the mid lane for now to try and hold the wave. And EHOME also starting to congregate a bit.
Yeah, I think they
wants the D-ward here, but he's walked into glimpse range. This is trouble. Fissure coming out, and it'll be a quick and decisive kill on the Bane.
They wanted to smoke there, but only after the ward had been dewarded, because they knew because of that fissure. So they had to wait just a little bit, and it ended up being too long.
Quick backstab. CTY with a nice kill there, but Old Chicken's in quite far. The Gyrocopter looking to punish this. There's the fissure. A lot of magic damage, and LGD will grab a freebie. So it ends up being a 2-for-1 around the map. Bane earlier, and then a 1-for-1 mid. Tower not quite in deny range.
Yeah, that was overextension by Tiny. He kind of expected his team to follow him up, but they were really worried about being split across by the fissure from rOtk, and that could have trapped like 3 heroes instead of 1. So I think it was a good call by the rest of EHOME to not follow the Tiny in, even though he's a very high net worth hero at this point. CTY getting out of control in terms of his net worth. His Yules plus Bloodstone looks like it's going to come out before 20 minutes.
At the same time, you mentioned it early that rOtk was having a much better start and an impact, and he's already got a blink. This is huge for him. He wants to set up on CTY here. This could be the blink reveal. Jumping in, the echo's there. Can he lock CTY down sufficiently? He does have the Bloodstone Deny available. He's hesitating a little bit. Does get it off in the end. Still, down to 6 charges. That's what you want to see. And meanwhile, in the mid lane, they also make their go on to DDC. So it is, once again, a 1-for-1, but with, of course, the suicide as well as the tower deny by DDC. Now Cooldown getting dropped on the top lane. Old Chicken could easily tank that. This will open up access into the dire jungle a bit. Old 11 pokes his head out, gets a ward down, and then we'll back away.
Ember Spirit actually saving up a lot of gold, and thought he might be going for something different, but still will be the Battle Fury build.
I don't think I've seen an Ember not go that build in a very long time. Sometimes you'll see the Manta first, but...
Yeah, I mean, I guess Drums is the other option that he might have been considering.
I saw one Maelstrom.
Maelstrom's not bad. I think it's underutilized, but some people like the Drums pickup in case you get caught out by the Tiny, but if you're only going to farm out with your Flame Guard, or if you're very confident in your ability to not get caught out, then you can get away with this very low HP build, because most of the time you have treads to make up for that, but going BOTs and no Drums is very risky versus Tiny. They also have Cold Embrace, so I suppose it's not that risky, but...
So those utility items are coming out now. The Drums you mentioned, as well as the Yule Scepter for CTY. And it is now nighttime again for Wolfle Howl. Let's see, do EHOME look to make a play on the back of this?
I think they need a Glimmer on this side of EHOME. They need it really badly because LGD doesn't really have that much physical damage right now. Gyrocopter committing to an early BKB, Ember Spirit, still not that farmed yet, so almost all their damage is going to be magical, especially with rOtk's early Blink pickup. And Glimmer Cape is going to be really useful in helping out Tiny and Lesh, who have really large HP pools right now.
Kaka will pop the Darkness here. Just wanted to help get a ward down, but decreasing the chance LGD will spot him planning that one, and indeed, once again, able to get it out without being detected.
EHOME's Observer wards have consistently been much better than LGD's, though.
But it feels like they haven't really been able to capitalize on that.
That's because they have a really poor early game, but this is how they usually play, right? Regardless of whether or not they have a bad early game, then they try to control the map with Night Stalker, have very aggressive Observer wards, set up kills with the Tusk, and get a lot of farm on CTY, as well as Old Chicken. Old Chicken setting up for a defense on the top lane. This tower is very low, but LGD don't have to worry about Darkness for that much longer.
And they do have the Glyph available. Currently, Flame Guard is not active. Maybe he's actually dangerously close to being a kill here, if that +1's able to get into position in time. As the pressure also comes in the bottom lane, Lanham does get Echo Slam. There's the jump in from rOtk, try to focus him down. They managed to secure it, and at the same time, Old Chicken did jump in up back towards the top lane, the missile hunting him down. The tower does get killed off by Maybe, and Old Chicken unable to find the kill there on Maybe in the end. So.
But they know that the support's TP'd out, and that Sylar is kind of left alone, so they're actually looking for a kill on the Gyrocopter.
It looks like Old Chicken's in a bit of trouble here. He's got Pack-Up, though, coming in. Old 11 wants to go on Sylar. It seemed like Old Chicken wanted to go the other direction onto the Ember, but in the end, they will corral the Gyro. Maybe forced to watch his friend die. But they did get the tower out of that. And
his Remnant's actually not in that great of a spot. If he's forced to Remnant, he might get caught out by CTY.
He even chucks the Remnant towards CTY, who's like, ooh, Ember.
Oh, hey, that could have been actually really bad for...
Just out of range, it looked like.
Maybe.
He's going to try to TP out here, and should make it. And now much closer to the Battle Fury, as he did get the tower last hit. On a pretty decent clip.
So EHOME doing a good job of mitigating their losses. The Bane on bottom, they could have committed with more heroes, but they weren't actually sure how many heroes were behind the Earthshaker. But they assumed that 2 heroes had already TP'd in and looking for a much more prize kill in the Gyrocopter, and LGD again with, not that great of coordination. They kind of leave 2 heroes stranded out in the middle of nowhere. Ember Spirit already has his Remnant, so he's not really stranded, but Gyrocopter certainly the target, and they kind of honed in on him, especially when he realized he didn't have his BKB out yet. Maybe with the protection of the T1 tower, EHOME don't go for that play.
Yeah, in the end, it's only a Bane as well, so that's where EHOME, they know an Echo Slam's come in. It's a pretty heavy investment as they're looking to make the jump on the top lane. Sylar, he just went down once earlier this same lane. It might be cursed for him. There's the punch up back into the air, and Sylar will fall. Maybe try to join the fight and turn this one around. CTY, very tanky though, quickly chewing through the Flame Guard. Maybe gonna have to back off. And will retreat out, so they get to the Wyvern falling as well, and Kaka and Old Chicken looking for more towards the Dire base. They catch on MMY a bit. Could go for this. rOtk blinking in, but that's right as the glimpse back occurs. So EHOME not able to find that third or fourth kill, but it looks like they will get the tower off of this.
And now you're seeing more of the reason why Leshrac was picked. He's so good at doing damage through the Cold Embrace. On top of that was a really good read by CTY. He overlapped a lot of the stun with the Fiend's Grip, knowing that the Fiend's Grip would actually be canceled very early. And all they had to do was prevent Gyrocopter from popping his BKB until he was like below 20%. So it was really crucial that he cast a Split Earth at the time that he did. Very nice play.
And now ramps up the map control for EHOME. They're going to get a Shadow Blade here. Onto Old Chicken, so he'll have another way to initiate and kind of lock them up in their base. Obviously, the Night Stalker looks probably towards the Ags or the Gem at some point here.
Now they have to fear so many things. They have to fear like Night Stalker seeing them before they see him. They have to fear the Blink from the Tiny, the Shadow Blade from the Tiny, and the Yule's initiation from Leshrac, like the Grit from the Fog, like we just saw. Like
soon a Glimmer Cape on Lanham, it looks like.
There's so many things running through LGD's head. Like, I'm not sure if I can farm out safely, and they are all just very, very scared right now. And if you don't play too carefully, you're gonna die.
Well, there's the debut of the Shadow Blade. Old Chicken quickly slaughtering the Ember Spear. That's exactly what you want to use it for.
This is one of the trade-offs of going the BOT build. Like, if he had just a little bit more HP, he might have.
MMY, he's trying to go on a little Glimmer mission here, but he is going to get caught out momentarily. He drops the Static Storm. It's not much of a catch, only grabbing Old 11. It's after the shards got committed. They might lose Old 11. There's the Blink Echo onto C2I. Perhaps they've got the follow-up to make this one work out. They do lose the Disruptor, as well as the Ember Spirit up top from earlier. Now the Gyrocopter looks to turn it. Sylar jumping in. He committed the cooldown already. The Rocket Barrage is there. The Bloodstone denied. Not sure if he actually had it in that fight. He didn't manage to get it off. Ends up going down to the chain stun. And now RTK blinking it again. This could be the third kill for LGD. No, not quite enough damage. I guess they let him go here, at least for now. But top lane, there's a Tiny. He's beating the crap out of the tier 3 tower while this is all happening. Huge objective being grabbed. And finally, this will prompt the TPO, but Sylar continues to chase, looking for Lanham. On the Bane, the Void comes out, looking to slow him down. They get up the Brain Tap, Old Chicken's home, and he's looking to roost, trying to find Sylar, gets the toss off, smacks him, clubs him, not quite enough. There's another jump by RTK. Beautiful control here. He's got the Fissure as well, trapping in Old Chicken. The Gyrocopter will plummet down to earth, but he's dead again. ROTK, talk about boom or bust. Last game, he was the GOAT. But this game, he looks to play the role of the hero. 5-0-5. Single-handedly, it feels, winning these fights. That's a 2 for 5. And in the end, a 5,200 gold swing.
Hellbear Smasher coming through with the Thunderclap. I'm not actually sure if he would have died without that. He was under Cold Embrace, and they had already used all their nukes, so kind of working against LGD there. So that's a lot of damage on the T3 that you do not want this early in the game. And keep in mind that Ember Spirit had died right before that. So although it looked pretty favorable for LGD, still getting some crucial kills up in there.
Suddenly a Force Staff up on RTK as well. He's keeping up with the farm of
he is playing so much better than last game, though. I think his team, might have said something to him. Like,
have we jinxed him?
We need you involved.
I thought we may have jinxed him. The commentator's curse is strong, but not as strong as RTK's Spidey senses.
But now we see BKB starting to come out too for EHOME, most notably on CTY. They do not have much anti-BKB. And Bane was really close to his Glimmer Cape. He had 1350 gold before that last fight. Looks like he will complete it on the top lane.
So there was an Invis Ring collected by Old 11. He was hoping to find someone bottom, but RTK just patiently waited behind maybe Zember.
There's already a gem picked up too. ROTK also, on top of having a Blink and a Force Staff, he fed the gem to the Winter Wyvern.
Wow. After that last fight, I suppose he collected a lot of gold. Big pickups for him. Old Chicken now moseying through the river, heading towards the top lane.
Oh, they might get a free kill on Tiny because of this.
Let's see if they can catch him out.
Yeah,
here.
he might actually roam because he has no idea that they have a gem.
They have any? Yeah, they do. You're right. The Sentry available as well. Not that they're going to need. There's the Winter's Curse. Triple Remnant forward. And quickly, actually not triple, only one, but enough to get the kill anyway. Meanwhile, RTK is in the lane bottom.
I still don't know if they have if they know that he has a gem. He probably thinks they just had a Sentry Ward because he tried to invis at the last moment. So I still don't think that's gem reveal.
Yeah, he did get ambushed there. RTK was poked up pretty far bottom lane, but he's almost off the minimap right now.
RTK in place for a huge dunk bottom, though, in case EHOME try to trade towers.
They've got the cooldown available. Ember does have his Battle Fury. There's some AoE to combo with this.
It's looking like they really need the Night Stalker Ags. LGD has just been catching them out of position so often. But they don't want to wait that long. Ember Spirit and Gyrocopter getting pretty strong, although not really utilizing the ancient stacks as often as perhaps Siler would like.
I mean, do you think EHOME are getting enough done right now? Because I just see an Ember, a Gyro farming.
I mean, do you
quite
see
a bit.
CTY's net worth? It's still way above Siler's.
Do you, I mean, at what point do you say, okay, our Leshrac is farmed enough, let's go take objectives?
Well, they have the BKB, so it looks like now.
Okay. EHOME grouping up mid. They smoke. It will be old 11 in front. CTY close behind him, a freshly grabbed plate mail, so 18 armor. Let's go with the Magic immunity, and Ancients are getting stacked here. rOtk is going to be the one that reveals the gank. He tries to force that away, but they've got way too much control. All good things must come to an end, and rOtk's streak does. They also find the Ancient stack, but they're not really the best lineup to farm this up with. Old Chicken still no Aghanim Scepter. They're lacking that physical damage, but not the scouting potential as he Shadow Blades up.
Yeah, but it's a dominating move by EHOME, though, kind of trying to control that Ancients.
There could be. Snowball forward. They found MMY. They get off the curse, though, preventing Old Chicken from doing his damage. Now the Static Storm trying to turn this one around. Sylar engaging, pop the call down, engages with Rocket Barrage. Lanham already committed his grip for this, so he doesn't have much to help out. It's up to CTY to do the damage, but Sylar's BKB keeps him in fighting shape. They kill off the Centaur. And CTY is the one on the run. They're going to earn him. He does have the Bloodstone as well as the Yules. Lanham backing off, though, just not much backup. It's completely LGD on the chase here. The Fisher coming through the chains as well. Yules is going to dodge that rocket, but still, with the homing missile not connecting, that doesn't really affect LGD. They want to continue pursuit from the backside. Kaka tries to slow them down, so rOtk, he turns and heads the other direction. He wants now the Night Stalker instead. Fisher comes in, there's the BOTs forward from maybe, searching for the Vampire. Can he get him? Four staff, Sleight of Fist chains, and a connection. And this will be the death of Kaka. Another grab. LGD, a very nice hold. More importantly, perhaps, than the kills, the tower also stands.
Still constantly catching out the Tiny. Shadow Blade build not really paying off for him. He might even have to go for a BKB before the Scepter at this rate. They don't necessarily need him for the damage right now, just because they have so many ways to counter his initiation. But yeah, he constantly gets caught out at this point. Still good sacrifice by the Night Stalker. He wanted to keep tabs on the Winter Wyvern, seeing if they were clear to go with a Glimmer Cape. And pays with his life.
So what do you think needs to go differently in the next fight for EHOME?
Kill the Winter Wyvern, I think. That was a really nice Winter's Curse, which pretty much locked EHOME into that fight, as well as buying time for rOtk to buy back TP to the mid T3 and potentially lead up with a big Echo Slam after that. But they've been having a really big time just like finding the right targets in the fight. So I think Night Stalker needs his Ags as soon as possible, but CTY has been taking up a lot of the farm on the map. Tiny still needs his BKB, so I'm not sure when he's going to get it.
I just haven't, as much as the Leshrac's farm, we haven't really seen CTY converting it too much into kills or objectives as of late. He's still only at 8 Bloodstone charges.
Well, he can't catch anyone with the
Despite the
Yules.
death earlier.
Like, Gyro can just BKB out of it. Ember Spirit can
And I mean,
use
is
any of his
that farm going to convert, I guess is the question. Because they already have the one BKB on Gyro. I imagine at some point we do see one on the Ember. And then what does CTY do?
Power farm, I suppose. That's one of the benefits that Leshrac has in this sort of game, where he can't actually get solo kills. He's been able to farm up so many camps and so much faster than Sylar.
Oh, the two old men, 11 and Chicken, now roaming down from that top roof.
I'm just waiting for all of them to be named old Kaka, old CTY.
The more they win with it, but bottom lane, Kaka gets caught out. They do grab the Night Stalker here. Committed a lot with the Static Storm, but well worth it. I mean, 11 changed his name to Old 11, and then he had an amazing performance. So I was thinking that maybe it's good luck. This team seems to be very superstitious. You've got the victory since 1841 sweater that I'm not sure if Lanham's washed his entire time here in Frankfurt.
I think Ember Spirit having a pretty successful game thus far is kind of a result of last game, where they had a lot of tools to deal with the Ember Spirit, most notably Broodmother destroying the Ember's lane, but on top of that, the Tiny with a Blink Dagger and the Wind Ranger for the long duration shackle. This game, they also have somewhat similar tools, but I think they're like, oh, we don't have to worry about him this game because of what happened to him last game, and now it's proving that they can't actually kill him really easily, although Old Chicken may prove me otherwise.
Yeah, as the game continues, it just feels like that the tempo is much more comfortable for LGD, much slower. More about split push, not being forced to constantly, frantically scramble to engagements. It's like the 15 to 20 minute
Uh-oh,
mark.
CTY, he's going to have to be really quick about his...
Uh-oh.
I don't think he can get out from this.
He doesn't have
regardless of...
He does have the BKB BOTs, but so they have that curse in range. Though DDC's pretty far away. CTY might be able to make his way out. He's fully committed to this one, and now the curse comes through. The BOT is already committed. CTY is trapped, and it's going to go down. No Bloodstone deny there. A big grab for LGD.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't. Bloodstone deny right there. Still, EHOME will walk away with a T1 unless rOtk has something to say about it.
He's got the Blink Force Echo. He can really jump Old Chicken if he wants to. He begins it with a Fissure. Blinking in Enchant Totem as well, right as the tower will fall. It is last hit by Old Chicken, so he gets that gold. And he's going into a BKB, still skipping the eggs.
Yeah, they're playing very, very scared. Just teamwork is just not the same as last game. Night Stalker, for example, ditching CTY early in the game and having him killed on bottom. I think that Lanham was very scared to make a play there, and they just constantly do not have vision of LGD's heroes. How many heroes are sitting behind rOtk?
It is going to be a big Ancient stack now. LGD farming up a lot of additional gold. Sylar now, suddenly, MKB is going to be purchased, it looks like, flying out on the Courier. He's already gone back for the Dominator a while ago, so he's been able to increase his income by quite a large amount. And it seems like the only hero that can really match this level of farm is the Leshrac.
I think he needs a Blink Dagger to be mobile. He needs, because there's this like huge area that they can't go in because of the call down on top of the Winter's Curse and the Earthshaker Echo Slam. If he can like somehow blink and then use the Earthshaker, that's a very good way to start off the fight. And then the melee heroes can kind of file in as he runs in with his BKB. And this way they don't have to worry about the Winter's Curse and the Echo Slam. But as it stands right now, he's just kind of forced to walk in and he has to like wait for the call down. He doesn't want to get Winter's Curse and just can't really walk into the backline of LGD where he will do the most damage.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I haven't seen CTY going for any of those more utility items. I think it's more of your hard carry Lash build-up.
Yeah,
aside from the Yules.
He needs to pick it up though. I think after the Shiva's Guard. Although after that he's 6-slotted.
And then I guess you start to ask, what does he replace?
I guess BOT2s into maybe a Scythe instead of a Yules, I suppose.
And, well, meanwhile, you look at LGD, there's a lot of item progression available for this squad. Not often you see a Tiny line up at 36 minutes where the Tiny needs help to clear the Ancients, but Old Chicken is looking a little rubbery.
I think it's a good choice for him to go to BKB, though. Like, it's clear that he just dies in this fight because he doesn't have the magic immunity. They scout him out, and now that they have the gem, there's no way he can catch him off guard with the Shadow Blade. So he needed it, and CTY is doing his lion's share of farming. More than enough for the both of them.
I'm curious to see what maybe he's going to go for here. He's got the Ultimate Orb as well as the Crystallis. So a little bit of defense, a little bit of offense. And he's also got Sylar who can really assist with that. Not only does he have the MKB, but now he's got another 2,000 gold picked up as a hasted DDC is going to jump in with the Arctic Burn. Everybody blinking out. It's a game of whack-a-mole here. Who's he going to find? Gets the curse on Old 11, and CTY is just going to have to run. Another pick-off for LGD. It just seemed to more and more be the team that's comfortable to move out and go for objectives.
Still could have been 2 kills, though.
Good reactions there by EHOME, but it is going to cost them a potential Roshan.
Actually, they had the Night Stalker Axe. This is much quicker than I expected coming out.
They want to contest this. BOTs are available for CTY, so he can join the team.
Yeah, they have to de-ward first, though. There are actually 2 Observer wards. And Roshan's actually going down pretty slowly, only at half HP right now. And once they clear this next Observer ward, maybe they can go in. But Lanham not really wanting to clear that Observer ward.
Oh, Kaka, he sees what's going on, but can they get there in time? The pings are coming out. The team's rotating. We've been waiting for a big team fight this entire series, but is it going to happen? Old Chicken blinking in, gets off the Avalanche, goes onto the Roche. Last hit going to the Dire. Who's going to grab that Aegis? Everybody's skirmishing in the pit. It's finally the Gyro who picks it up. So everything going here the way of LGD as Old Chicken will fall. MMY will be the trade, though. So far 2 for 1, but round 2 of that life now begins. CTY looking for the Sun. Sylar did already commit his BKB, but then rOtk leaps in with the Echo, looking to be the savior here. They are going to bring down the Bane, and now looking for more. CTY held in position by the Troll Trap. He's got the Bloodstone tonight, may have no choice but to use it if rOtk leaps in again. He jumps forward, there's the Suicide. They've lost the Leshrac again, their key farmer, and then the Embrace keeping rOtk alive, snowball forward. They can't seem to kill anyone off, though. The 2 hero chains, maybe once more. He rushes in, Flame Guard reactive. activated, engaged, and now the fissure just barely clipping Kakad's rOtk again and again. Stun after stun, meet the club as LGD completely swing this game on its head.
The Aegis was there for like a good 3 seconds. So I was like, who's going to pick it up? Nice patience from rOtk, waiting for that fight, and EHOME just took a little bit too long to get there. Had they started off the fight a few seconds earlier, maybe they could have prevented the roast from falling in. With Gyrocopter out of the fight that early, I think it probably would have swung EHOME's way, but just all the items have been coming out just a little bit too slow. The Glimmer Cape first on the Bane, like the BKB on the Leshrac, the Night Stalker Ags, everything's been like 1 or 2 minutes late because of the excellent start that LGD had. And I think mostly due to MMY.
Can I just point out that rOtk is 10-1-7 on an offlane Earthshaker? I can't even count the number of times that we've had a panel session where people are saying, you know, offlane Earthshaker generally isn't that good. I don't know why anyone's picking it. This guy's been involved in 17 of 25 kills, Ben, and he's only died once. He's got a BKB.
They had a good start for him, too, and it's, I guess, a Night Stalker support isn't the greatest at zoning him, but they blocked that creep, the creep pool spawn for him, which I think is pretty big.
Yeah, and the Night Stalker, it's worth remembering, was running around for a while trying to find the ward that was over here in the trees towards that bottom rune, and never was able to do it.
rOtk actually went for a BKB, so now he's kind of immune to the tiny jump and the Leshrac.
They need
initiation.
They don't have physical damage right now. Like, I don't even really count the tiny that much.
Yeah, in retrospect, Old Chicken probably wishes that he went a Scepter instead of the Shadow Blade, but he probably didn't think that LGD would retain a gem for so long, nor pick it up so early.
In fact, now they've got 2 gems. That was one of the other casualties of that fight.
A kobold, a smoked kobold to scout out their positioning.
Very interesting. They just want that extra bit of movement speed, perhaps. A fast raptor. This is straight out of Jurassic Park.
So it looks like Ember Spirit committed for a Eye of Scotty build, and they're keeping the HOD creep, I think, with them so that maybe can BOT onto the creep. Last game there was summons, this game it will be the HOD, but Eye of Scotty, much better synergy, I think, with the Cold Embrace and, I mean, what other item is there? I guess Manta style for the silence, but Night Stalker hasn't proven to be that much of a problem this game, and it's not particularly great versus Leshrac's amount of AoE, nor Tiny's cleave.
I mean, and they lost the gem, so at this point, you know, what the Scepter is still decent, but not nearly as scary.
Yeah, they kind of need to stall out for the next 3 minutes while LGD kind of, while they wait for the gem to refresh.
Well, while they're waiting for gems to refresh, LGD are wasting no time in pressing up mid. The creep wave will arrive soon, and they'll continue this assault on the tier 2. There's a glyph available, CTY. Still waiting to see the Leshrac activated this game. He's gotten 1 kill in it feels like the past 20 to 30 minutes. Been very quiet as of late.
Yeah, now they have a good span of daytime.
Look for the jump. There's the dunk. It's the return of the king into the entire EHOME backlines as rOtk leaps forward. They've almost killed off the Leshrac again. It's the totem once more. No mercy here from the captain of LGD. They do get a grip though, and maybe he's in pretty far. He's got one of the 2 gems. He may end up paying for this fissure coming through. Where's the backup? Sylar just kind of sitting back and watching it happen there because they're busy chasing Old Chicken on the periphery of the fight. They do end up bringing down the disruptor here, but somehow able to jump away. Is maybe close to dying. The Walrus Punch almost cooled down. Not quite in time. His Old Chicken is being chased here. He's going to get dunked by the missile. He's got the backup of CTY. It was a buyback, though, forced out of the Leshrac. They need to get more out of this. There's the long range push in, leaping forward. He wants Sylar so bad. Can he get the kill? He will. I almost feel like he still needs more after that buyback. In the end, they only get the Gyrocopter. It cost them a Lesh and a buyback.
And they didn't actually end up getting a gem, I don't think, out of that exchange?
I thought they were going to get the Ember, but he ended up just miraculously escaping with the gem.
Ooh.
That would have been big, considering that they really need one to go with that Night Stalker.
Yeah.
It's still on cooldown for 2 minutes.
Very good jump by rOtk once again on the backline. And the Winter Wyvern with the Cold Embraces are just devastating. EHOME can't really focus anyone down. They don't have that much AoE, especially without Tiny having his Ag Scepter and with Lesh not really being able to do that much damage in these fights because of the mass BKBs.
Let's see, what is Old Chicken going to go for now? Spends the gold, picks up the Hyperstone. So yeah, he's just totally ignoring the Ags. It is pretty late at this point to be thinking about farming. Oh, looks like maybe the AC could be a possibility now to try and deal with all the physical damage from LGD. Still, Leshrac down to 3 Bloodstone charges. My goodness.
The AC is also, I think, a lot better if he's going to get Winter's Cursed too. He's died a couple of times to it already.
So EHOME, after that whole engagement, they now find themselves down only 8,000 gold, which at this stage really isn't all that much. The experience graph around 8,002. So numerically, it feels like a pretty even game, I would say, for 44 minutes in. How do you feel the teams are matching up as we head towards the Ultra?
I mean, I think I agree with you that CTY has a lot of farm, but he hasn't actually been able to do that much with it. The Yule's initiation, not great versus the BKBs and the Ember Spirit, and just too many BKBs coming out from LGD. And on top of that, he's died a lot with that high amount of net worth without being able to deny himself with the Bloodstone, which has given LGD a lot more gold than they should have been able to get.
Oh, they might be able to make the jump in. DDC leaping forward, but there's a quick blink out, and then the Glimmer Cape. Everybody retreating here on the side of EHOME, still pressing forward. LGD group up. So is there anything that changes the equation for you, or is that just where the numbers are even more misleading and EHOME's actually even farther behind in your department?
It's still, I think, the Night Stalker with the Ags. He is the key to try and blow up these heroes before the BKB, but like, let's say they jump the Earthshaker, they need to make sure they control the Winter Wyvern too, or he'll just turn it around with the Cold Embrace into a Winter's Curse. So
they did buy a new gem, by the way.
Yeah, this is the thing they have to do. They have to fight, I think, before the next Aegis too. Or I mean, look at Gyrocopter's items. He has BKB, Satanic, and Monkey King Bar. He will just be able to crush them in BKB wars.
Yeah, maybe he can just kind of kite at this point. He doesn't even need to be the man up front.
I mean, he does a lot of damage too. Like, he can kite and still do a ton of damage with his Daedalus and Battle Fury. So
LGD looking for that decisive blow. They're up on the high ground. EHOME in trouble here. The Fissure comes through. The curse on the Concord. CTY gets trapped out. He's going to engage, but RTK laughs and chances totem, and BKBs was going to back off. Old Chicken leaping forward, trying to isolate the Earthshaker, keep that big team fight out of the engagement for now. Old Chicken trying to have a toss and combo him down, but he's backed up by Maybe, as well as Sylar. EHOME just so slow to get into this fight. Old Chicken's in the front door way before them, but the curse was committed. They still have the Static Storm, and down into the river they're going to go, trying to hound Sylar and finish him off. The Satanic was committed, but it's while he's stunned. He heads up dropping. Maybe now trapped out a little bit. Still no big damage coming out from LGD, and they have lost a lot of their key heroes. Now the TP out attempted by RTK. Not going to happen though, as he gets Lesh stunned, snowballed on, and blown up. EHOME finding 2 big picks there and punching through the LGD defenses, and now Maybe into the trees to blink out. And they find him. They do have the vision, so they have to toss. No mana.
I bet CTY wish he went blink now.
Just for that one swag moment.
Still, the Night Stalker with the Ags, they finally didn't get jumped. There were 2 heroes. ROTK hesitated just a tiny bit, and then they split up, and then it was just a one-man Winter's Curse coming out from Winter Wyvern, and I think the big player of that fight was Old Chicken. He kind of ran around the back lines, and he BKB'd and homed in on the Winter Wyvern, and then the other 4 heroes, aside from Sylar, went to go protect the Winter Wyvern, and just left Sylar isolated, thinking that his BKB and his Satanic would let him survive, but actually it doesn't, because they have so many stuns to follow up, and there's no way he's going to be able to leech.
It was impressive that Old Chicken jumps in and basically zones back 3-4 heroes as they were all busy trying to deal with him. Maybe we'll take a pretty heavy beating here in the top lane, but is able to jump out. And now the AC complete for Old Chicken. So another big item. In the mid lane, it looks like CTY is going to nearly complete that Octarine core now, getting the Soul Booster. So we are about to see, like, more or less fully 6-slotted Leshrac. Maybe, as you mentioned, you could get the Hex, replace that Yule's.
Still a little bit of nighttime left while this Roshan is going to respawn near a maximum time of 11 minutes.
Well, that's where having the Night Stalker with the Ags and the Gem is so important, because you look at LGD's just pure AoE, fighting in the pit is terrifying. But with the vision advantage, anything is possible.
Well, they really need Old Chicken, I think, to get the Aegis and survive another fight. He is falling behind in terms of farm, especially without the Ag Scepter, but decent single target damage. I wonder if he's going to change his Shadow Blade into a Silver Edge to conserve slots, because you don't really want to sell the Shadow Blade at this point when you don't have the luxury of 10,000 gold excess. So I think he has to make do with the slots, and I guess maybe you go like Silver Edge and Moonshard and hope that you get the Aegis for your 6th slot.
Yeah, the damage reduction is still quite nice, even if the disabling passives isn't really going to come into play.
And of course the HP, even the MAME is pretty useful in BKB man fights, which he has been doing in this game.
I hate getting maimed. It's one of those.
You don't like getting crunched?
Not particularly.
Sounds like your bones are breaking. Well, Roshan is up, and
probably what happens when Tiny hits you in general.
Let's see, maybe it has reunited with this team, so this will be a full 5-on-5.
Here comes the big blast. Sylar, the man in front, they're going to jump in off the bat. He got up the BKB though. The Static Storm gets dropped. Try to zone some of these eHOME heroes back. They snowball forward. Then the call down deploy. That's going to keep eHOME out of the fight. At least it would seem so. As rOtk hangs on, tries to find his opening, but does get caught by the Yule Scepter. Needs the BKB. And now the Curse keeping CTY in position. The Fissure comes through and keeps Old 11 back. Old Chicken's too low to engage. It seems like LGD are getting the upper hand here, trying to focus on CTY. They get the kill on the Leshrac. No buyback available. Dead for 100 seconds. They gotta win this one without it, but who's gonna deliver the damage? They just don't have it. So they chase forward looking for more. The Remnant up. DDC also blinking in pursuit. The Fissure again. rOtk keeps on finding the openings. Kaka, this could be another gem down for him, and it is going to be a triple for Sylar. LGD. They may just go for the GG right here, or at least try to take that lane of Rax. No glyph available. Tier 2 only up.
eHOME had a split of ideas in that fight. They wanted to blink and stun lock the gyrocopter. We could see the blink punch almost come out from the tusk, but they didn't actually connect with it. And then after that, they're like, okay, we want to back. If we file up this, we're going to get hit by like a 4-man Static Storm with a multiple-man Winter's Curse on top of everyone getting flacked down. That was the worst place for eHOME to fight, but CTY kind of made them commit to that fight, trying to isolate rOtk up on that cliff. But without his team there to follow up on that, that was...
And RTK still BKB, so it's just how are you going to kill him?
Yeah, I don't agree with CTY's choice to go up there, and neither did his team.
Oh, the farming Leshrac not paying off the way that the CTY Queen of Pain has in games past, and now LGD on the precipice of elimination have taken one lane of Rax as well as an additional melee, so effectively 2 for most intents and purposes. They find themselves very close to forcing that deciding game 3 and resetting the series.
He just doesn't have the mobility. Like he has to pop his BKB very early on in fights, and he's
just not able to burst anyone down either. It doesn't seem like he's getting any quick kills this game.
They also don't have that great setup for him, though. I guess a single target with tiny stun toss, but overall, here we go. CTY, BOT's only level 1.
They actually managed to recover their gem after all that. LGD didn't even care. I'm not sure if they actually saw it, but it is the Roshan now, the new contest, and oh my goodness.
They have to remove that Observer Ward, though. I guess I can't really see that much with Darkness, but that's only going to last for so long.
Well, Ben, this team fight just got extremely hard. BKB up on the Ember against still predominantly magic damage, and now a refresher on DDC.
Oh my.
I feel like there's very few games where you see a Wyvern get a refresher, unless that team has lost 2 lanes of Rax, where you're not like, oh god.
I actually think they kill him instead of rOtk. rOtk, I think you just have to disable his Blink Dagger. You don't necessarily have to kill him, just make sure he doesn't get a good echo.
There's a Remnant down in the pit, and the shards get thrown out. They're trying to scout here as DDC engages. He's the first man in. He tries to get off that curse, and it will be on Kaka, locking him in position while the Sleight of Fist comes to, and then curse number 2 on to CTY. Then the echo, rOtk bringing down the hammer and beating the living daylights out of eHOME so hard that they instantly tap out. Their former leader just punched them in the mouth. He ends this game with an incredible performance. 12-2-12 on the big stage in a key moment. There were rumors of team dissension. You would not know it from how they played this one.
Yeah, what a performance from rOtk. Maybe, I mean, all of LGD playing spectacularly after that game 1.
The king has returned, and to find out what's next after his coronation, we'll hand it back to Paul and the analysts.
Indeed, the king has returned. LGD tie things up.